Hello there, my name is Sean. I'm a lead CI with the Department of Cryptid Investigation. And today my boss has asked me to go over the top 5 dollar store budget Bigfoots and share that information with the public. You might be wondering why this information is important to you. Anyways, let's get into the video. So at number 5, we have one of my personal favorites, the Ohio Grassman. So the Grassman is said to be very similar to Bigfoot, but just maybe a little more aggressive species of Sasquatch. And it gets its name from these small hut-like living structures or nests that it actually builds out of tall grass. The first prominent sightings of the Grassman occurred in the small village of Minerva, Ohio in August of 1978. And it's basically when these kids went outside and they were screaming about a hairy monster that they saw in a gravel pit. And basically, when their parents came out, the parents described what they saw was a dark, matted-haired creature, and it was basically playing with discarded trash. So basically, it's like an oversized raccoon. It is estimated that the creature was around 300 pounds. After this family had their initial sighting, they continued to report more sightings of the creature. One time they said that it was peeking in their kitchen window. So basically they had a big hairy stalker dude outside. And they called the police to investigate, and the police didn't find anything except for a few footprints that they found in the mud and a terrible smell that was lingering in the air. So this family not only claimed that there was one of these Grassmen, but they claimed to have seen in broad daylight 2 of them on the same hill together. Like I was talking about, how the Grassman is a more aggressive species of Sasquatch. The family actually reported finding their German Shepherd dead with its neck broken. So they, I guess, attributed that to the Grassman. Before that, in the 1700s, Native Americans in the Ohio grassland spoke of a race of bipedal ape men. And then in the late 1800s, there was a sighting of this creature that apparently tried to throw a man out of its carriage. And then his daughter was throwing rocks at it, and then it ran away, I guess. I would say the Grassman is just Bigfoot's slightly creepier cousin. Okay, so next up at number 4, we have the Mapinguari. So this guy is a creature from Brazilian folklore, and he's described as large, hairy, and foul-smelling. So there's a very noticeable difference between this dude and Bigfoot. Basically, he has a single eye and a mouth on his stomach. So he's kind of like a cyclops with a weird stomach mouth, I guess. He's just been described as actually a guardian of the Amazon, and he basically punishes those who harm the forest or the people who live there. Basically, he's described as being aggressive and territorial, but that has also been attributed to him being the protector of the jungle. This dude also has a roar that is said to be so powerful that it can silence the entire forest, which is pretty interesting. So many cryptozoologists basically speculate about what possible creature the Mapinguari could be. And there is a extinct species of ground sloth, and it's basically had similar features in regards to size and fur and the connection to the Amazon. I would say, apart from the big cyclops eye and the mouth on its stomach, that I could see the resemblance there. Final legend around the creature that I'll talk about is the belief that the Mapinguari was actually an Amazonian shaman who was cursed and then transformed into the monstrous beast known as the Mapinguari. Alright, so next up at number 3, we have the Yowie. So the Yowie is basically the Australian version of Bigfoot that originated from Aboriginal mythology. It possesses many primate-like features, which possibly indicates that they could be a species of undiscovered great apes. It is reported that they stand 5 to 9 feet tall, they have a large red mouth, and they have talon-like claws. They also have 2 large fang-like canines sticking out, like this, I guess. Similarly to the Ohio Grassman, the Yowie has been described as a much more aggressive species of Sasquatch. And there's been reports of him actually tearing off the heads of kangaroos and dogs, but not many reports that I could find on the creature attacking humans. The most recent sightings of the creature that I can find were reported in early 2021, with 3 sightings, and then there was at least 6 sightings in 2020, and all of them were reported in the state of Queensland. But yeah, knowing the caliber of creatures living in Australia, I wouldn't be surprised if something like this was just hanging around there, honestly. So at number 2, we have the Orang Pendek. So to let you guys in on a little bit of classified information, we have actually confirmed that this guy is really just Bigfoot's little cousin through our precise DNA testing in our special labs that we have. This guy is a bipedal ape that has been rumored to live in the jungles on the island of Sumatra. It is commonly reported to be between 3 and 5 feet in height, so I guess this guy is just a short king. In Indonesian, his name literally translates to short person, which is a little bit on the spot, I guess. This creature is said to walk upright on both legs and be an omnivore, which is common among primates. However, unlike most primates, this guy is actually reported to spend almost all of its time on the ground, which is similar to gorillas and other Bigfoot-like cryptids. Despite its size, villagers nearby have reported it to have a great amount of strength and even be able to uproot small trees, which is pretty impressive since this guy is pretty small. Pendek is said to raid fields for their crops, especially potatoes and fruits. And natives on the island claim that he actually likes the Asian durian fruit. That's one of his favorite snacks, I guess. So if you're trying to lure him out or something, that would be a pretty good option. But reports of this creature go all the way back to the 1300s, where travelers would stop on the island and report of hairy men that they saw. So that could mean a lot of things. Possibly, maybe the fact that there was no razors for them to shave. So everyone there was just hairy, or it could have been this creature too, who knows. Yeah, so both locals and visitors have separate reports of seeing the creature. So those kind of go together to present an interesting case. Recently, the shape of the animal's footprints and a hair analysis by Copenhagen University suggest that the Orang Pendek is a new species of upright ground-dwelling apes. So pretty exciting stuff. So for our number 1 slot, we have Florida's own skunk ape. Reports of the skunk ape have popped up all over the South in states like Texas, Georgia, Louisiana, but the most notable ones have occurred in the Florida Everglades. The creature is known for its black fur and glowing red eyes, and the red eyes are actually unusual for most primates because they have a layer of tissue right behind the retina that reflects light. The name skunk ape actually comes from the creature's terrible odor, and that smell has, I guess, branded it as the skunk ape, which is pretty unfortunate, I guess, for this guy. So the first sightings of the skunk ape were reported through the 60s and 70s, and then in autumn of 1974, there was an influx of reports filed in Dade County, Florida. 26 years later, in autumn of 2000, the police of Sarasota County received an anonymous letter from a woman that basically contains alleged photographic evidence of what she said was an escaped orangutan who had been stealing apples from her back porch. And then these pictures were released to the public, and cryptid enthusiasts dubbed the creature as the Mayaka skunk ape. Any of the skunk ape sightings, similarly to Bigfoot sightings, can be attributed to black bear sightings, because if black bears stand up, upright, they can appear as other animals. And the United States National Park Service considers the skunk ape officially to be a hoax, but here at the DCI, we know better. They don't want to cause a panic with the public. Is this creature a bear that is a little too stinky from rummaging in a bunch of trash? Or is the skunk ape a species of bipedal ape that is yet to be discovered? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But yeah, that's all I got time for today. I gotta go head out on another case, but I will see you guys next time.